was kind of jealous of him because he got to do stuff I could never do.
That's how the interview started. At first, it sounded like Shaq was being reflective, but then things shifted fast. In a new interview, the Big Diesel didn't just talk about LeBron. He picked him apart. From subtle jabs to backhanded praise, Shaq said a lot that has fans going wild. Let's break it all down. Shaq slams LeBron on TV. The basketball world is absolutely buzzing right now, and I mean absolutely buzzing with controversy after NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal dropped what many are calling a bombshell criticism aimed directly at LeBron James. If you've been anywhere near social media in the past few days, you've probably seen the clip circulating, but there's so much more to this story than what's making the rounds online. What Shaq said has ignited a firestorm of debate among fans, analysts, and former players alike, and today we're diving deep into every shocking detail of this escalating NBA drama. On April 5th, 2025, during an episode of his wildly popular Big podcast, Shaq didn't hold back when discussing LeBron's remarkable ability to continue dominating the league at age 40. But his comments weren't exactly the complimentary type you might expect for a player defying father time. Instead, O'Neal suggested something that has the basketball community completely divided, that LeBron's impressive longevity isn't solely due to his legendary work ethic or physical gifts, but rather because today's NBA has become, in Shaq's own words, too soft. Lakers legend Shaquille O'Neal spoke about LeBron James's longevity, believing it to be a product of how soft the modern NBA has become. This statement didn't come out of nowhere. It was a direct response when asked if the physical decline of the game has benefited LeBron's career longevity. Shaq's immediate response? Never one to hold back when letting his opinion known. Shaquille O'Neal recently shared his thoughts on the current state of the NBA and why it's changed since he was a player. Let's break down exactly what Shaq said, because the details here are absolutely crucial. When directly asked if the less physical nature of today's game has helped extend LeBron's career, Shaq didn't hesitate with his answer. Definitely. He then elaborated with the kind of unfiltered honesty that has made him one of the most compelling voices in basketball media. Less physical. Right now, if you get a flagrant foul, you get fined and suspended. Guys aren't even fouling hard, no, more. Shaq's stance on the physicality of today's NBA becomes even clearer when we look at other comments he's made in the past. In this clip from a heated debate on ESPN's First Take, Shaq passionately defends the era he played in when discussing a hypothetical matchup between Michael Jordan's Bulls and the Golden State Warriors.
What era are we playing in? We playing in the big boy era where you can knock people on the ass?
He continues with a dismissive comparison to today's game.
So we playing in this little cupcake era now where you can't touch people.
This isn't just some throwaway comment. It's a direct challenge to the narrative surrounding LeBron's incredible durability and longevity. By suggesting that James has benefited from playing in an era with reduced physicality, Shaq is essentially arguing that LeBron's ability to perform at an elite level at age 40 isn't quite as impressive as it might seem at first glance. He's implying that the rule changes and evolution of the game, which now emphasize perimeter play and protect players more than ever before, have created conditions that allow veterans like LeBron to extend their careers far longer than would have been possible in previous, more physically demanding eras. What makes this particularly fascinating is the timing. LeBron is having a statistically remarkable season at age 40, averaging 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game while shooting an efficient 51.3% from the field. He's even managed multiple 40-point games this season, becoming the oldest player in NBA history to score 40 points in a game, breaking a record previously held by none other than Michael Jordan. These aren't just good numbers for a 40-year-old, they're exceptional numbers for a player of any age. But Shaq's comments suggest that these accomplishments should come with an asterisk. He's essentially arguing that LeBron is thriving in part because he doesn't have to endure the same physical punishment that players of Shaq's era faced night after night. In the 1990s and early 2000s, when O'Neal was at his dominant best, the NBA was characterized by brutal battles in the paint, hand-checking on the perimeter, and a generally more physical brand of basketball that took a tremendous toll on players' bodies. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Shaq has made somewhat controversial comments about LeBron. The relationship between these two NBA icons has been complicated, to say the least. Back in March 2024, O'Neal stated on the Big Podcast that NBA players don't fear LeBron like they did Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, which prompted a response from James, who shared statistics comparing their careers. LeBron James responds sharply to Shaquille O'Neal's criticism. Shaq's confidence in his own dominance is legendary, as evidenced by this clip where he was asked about a hypothetical matchup between himself and Kobe against LeBron and Anthony Davis.
In your prime, do you think you could beat LeBron and AD, you and Kobe?
Do I think or do I know? Yes, the answer is yes. I mean, because there's only one contributing factor. Who gonna guard me?
Yet just a month before his recent comments, in March 2025, O'Neal publicly supported the idea of a statue for James outside the Lakers arena, showing a level of respect for LeBron's accomplishments. Shaquille O'Neal sends message with Lakers facing LeBron-James decision. This suggests a nuanced view where Shaq acknowledges James's greatness, but also feels the need to contextualize his achievements within the era he plays in. And that context is something that can't be overlooked when we talk about basketball across different eras. The game has undeniably changed. Today's NBA puts a premium on three-point shooting, spacing, and offensive freedom. Physical defense is penalized more harshly, and the brutal battles in the paint that defined Shaq's era have largely given way to a more perimeter-oriented game. These changes have made the league more marketable and arguably more entertaining, but they've also fundamentally altered how the game is played and how players' bodies are affected over the course of their careers. The real question at the heart of Shaq's comments is this: are LeBron's achievements diminished because he plays in a less physical era, or should we celebrate his ability to adapt and thrive regardless of the rules and style of play? These questions tap into bigger debates about cross-era comparisons in sports and how we evaluate greatness across different periods of a game's evolution. As we continue to unpack this controversy, we need to consider LeBron's actual performance this season. His 2024 to 2025 season stats show he averages 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game, playing 70 games with a 51.3% field goal percentage and 37.6% from three. I just want to pause here for a moment and really let that sink in. We're talking about a player in his 22nd NBA season at 40 years old, putting up numbers that most players in their prime would be thrilled with. That's objectively impressive, regardless of the era. And yet, there have been signs of struggle. In a December 3rd, 2024 game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, LeBron scored only 10 points on 4 for 16 shooting, prompting discussions of decline. Critics point to occasional poor performances like this one, as well as the Lakers' early playoff exit. They lost 4, one in the first round despite being the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, as evidence that LeBron's age is finally catching up to him. But his supporters highlight his playoff averages of 26.3 points, 9.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2.0 steals, and 2.3 blocks, with a 64.1% true shooting percentage and a 28.5 player efficiency rating. Post by at Barry On Here. These numbers certainly don't suggest a player who's struggling with the physical demands of the game. To fully appreciate the weight of Shaq's criticism, we need to understand exactly how unprecedented LeBron's longevity is. Michael Jordan, often considered the greatest player of all time, played his final season at age 39, turning 40 during that year. He averaged 20.0 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 3.8 assists with a 44.5% field goal percentage. LeBron's stats at 40 surpassed these across the board, particularly in scoring and playmaking efficiency. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, at age 40 in the 1986-87 season, averaged 17.5 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists while playing 78 games. Excellent numbers for a 40-year-old, but again, LeBron's current production exceeds these benchmarks. Karl Malone, at age 40, averaged 13.2 points and 8.7 rebounds, and John Stockton, at the same age, averaged 10.8 points and 7.7 assists, both Hall of Famers whose age 40 seasons pale in comparison to what LeBron is doing. When Shaq suggests that today's soft NBA is partially responsible for LeBron's extended prime, he's touching on a sensitive debate about how we compare players across different eras. Is it fair to say LeBron has it easier because he doesn't face the same physical pounding that players of previous generations endured? Or should we acknowledge that each era presents its own unique challenges, and LeBron has mastered the game as it's played today? This debate becomes even more complex when we consider that many former players, not just Shaq, have criticized the current NBA for lacking the toughness of their era. Charles Barkley has been particularly vocal about this, regularly lamenting what he sees as a softening of the game. But is this valid criticism or simply the nostalgic grumbling of retired players who, as the saying goes, believe everything was tougher back in my day? Whatever your take on Shaq's comments, there's no denying that they've added fuel to the already blazing debate about LeBron's place in basketball history. As LeBron continues to defy age and expectations, these conversations about his legacy, the evolution of the game, and cross-era comparisons will only intensify. The most fascinating aspect of this whole controversy might be what it reveals about how we perceive aging in sports. For decades, we've had certain expectations about athletic decline. Players are supposed to lose a step in their mid-30s, with only a select few maintaining effectiveness into their late 30s, and virtually none remaining elite at 40. LeBron is challenging these long-held assumptions, forcing us to reconsider what's possible for an athlete with modern training, nutrition, and recovery methods. And that brings us back to Shaq's central claim. Is LeBron redefining athletic aging through superhuman dedication and genetic gifts, or is he benefiting from a game that's become less physically demanding? The truth, as is often the case, likely lies somewhere in between these two perspectives. Numbers never lie. While Shaq's comments have certainly stirred up controversy, we need to step back and examine what the actual numbers tell us about LeBron's performance at age 40. Because when we dig into the stats, we find a story that's truly remarkable regardless of what era we're talking about, or how physical the game may or may not be. Let's start with the basic season averages, which paint a picture of extraordinary consistency in production. During the 2024 to 2025 season, LeBron has averaged 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game. He's played in 70 games and maintained a field goal percentage of 51.3% while shooting 37.6% from three-point range. For context, the league average for three-point shooting this season hovers around 36%, meaning LeBron, at 40 years old, is actually an above-average three-point shooter in today's NBA. Perhaps even more impressive than his regular season performance has been his playoff showing. Despite the Lakers' disappointing first-round exit, LeBron's individual numbers were nothing short of spectacular. 26.3 points, 9.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2.0 steals, and 2.3 blocks per game. His true shooting percentage of 64.1% and player efficiency rating of 28.5 would be considered elite for a player in his prime, let alone one who's been in the league for 22 seasons. When we compare these figures to other NBA legends at similar ages, the contrast becomes even more stark. Michael Jordan, widely considered the greatest player of all time, averaged 20.0 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 3.8 assists in his final season, shooting 44.5% from the field. LeBron is outperforming these numbers across the board at the same age. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, known for his own remarkable longevity, averaged 17.5 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists at age 40 while playing 78 games. Again, LeBron's current production exceeds these benchmarks by a significant margin. The same is true when we look at Karl Malone, 13.2 points, 8.7 rebounds at age 40, and John Stockton, 10.8 points, 7.7 assists at age 40, both Hall of Famers whose late career numbers don't approach what LeBron is doing now. What makes these comparisons particularly interesting is that all of these players, Jordan, Kareem, Malone, and Stockton, played in eras that were more physical than today's NBA. If Shaq's theory were entirely correct, we might expect to see similar production from these all-time greats in their later years. Instead, LeBron stands alone in terms of his production at this age. Shaq's perspective on LeBron's place in basketball history has been inconsistent over the years. In this revealing clip, when asked if LeBron is close to surpassing Michael Jordan, Shaq initially dismisses the idea.
Is LeBron close to surpassing MJ in your book?
No.
Not at all? Where do you rank him? Like top 5, top 7?
But then he continues with a more nuanced take.
And well, definitely top 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like having this conversation because I actually know all these guys. But I know LeBron, and I think this is LeBron's plan. I think he wants to pass up Kareem. If he passes up Kareem in point, we all got to shut the hell up. He gonna have 4 rings. He already passed up Kobe, he already passed up Mike, now he passed up Kareem.
This clip reveals the complexity of Shaq's view on LeBron, acknowledging his greatness while still maintaining certain reservations. It's a perspective that has evolved over time, but remains rooted in Shaq's experiences in a different NBA era. Beyond the base statistics, LeBron has achieved several remarkable milestones this season that further cement his place in basketball history. He's recorded 32 double-doubles and 10 triple-doubles in the regular season, showcasing his versatility and all-around impact. Perhaps most impressively, he scored 40 or more points multiple times, becoming the oldest player in NBA history to hit that mark in a game, breaking a record previously held by Michael Jordan. LeBron James keeps making NBA history with his latest ageless performance. One particularly noteworthy performance came against the Portland Trail Blazers in February 2025, when LeBron dropped 40 points in a dominant display that left both teammates and opponents in awe. As one article put it, LeBron James drops 40 against Portland. He defies anything that's normal. That phrase, defies anything that's normal, perfectly encapsulates what makes LeBron's current level of play so incredible. It simply shouldn't be possible based on everything we know about athletic aging and basketball history. But it's not just the raw numbers that tell the story of LeBron's continued excellence, it's how he's achieving these statistics. At 40 years old, he's had to adapt his game to accommodate the natural physical decline that comes with aging. While he may not have quite the same explosive athleticism that defined his earlier years, he's compensated with improved shooting, masterful court vision, and an unparalleled unparalleled basketball IQ that allows him to control games without relying solely on physical dominance. As one fan on X, formerly Twitter, astutely observed, 15 years ago, critics speculated that LeBron James's reliance on athleticism and bully ball tactics would lead to a decline in performance as he aged and his physical abilities waned. Contrary to these predictions, LeBron has not only maintained but enhanced his skill set. This adaptation is a testament to LeBron's basketball intelligence and willingness to evolve qualities that transcend any era of the game. In a heated debate on ESPN's First Take, Shaq's frustration becomes evident when analyst Ryan Hollins suggests that neither Kobe Bryant nor Michael Jordan could fill LeBron's shoes.
Kobe Bryant couldn't fill, or Michael Jordan fill LeBron's shoes. The impact that he's had with different teammates, different organizations.
Shaq's immediate reaction shows his disbelief.
Would you be mad at me if I just walked off the show?
This exchange highlights the emotional investment many former players have in these GOAT debates, particularly when they involve teammates or contemporaries they played with or against. Another ex-user noted, LeBron has transitioned into his old man game beautifully now the past 6, minus 7 years. He's cerebral, he's smooth, and he's efficient. Excellent court mapping as always. Could play another 7, 10 years. While the prediction of playing another 7, 10 years might be overly optimistic. The observation about LeBron's transition to a more cerebral style is spot on. This isn't just about physical gifts. It's about a player who has mastered the mental aspects of basketball in a way few others have. The debate about LeBron's greatness and his performance at age 40 has been particularly active on Reddit, where basketball fans engage in detailed analysis of player statistics and impact. In one thread titled, "Is LeBron still a top 10 player in the league at age 39?" a user named Toradon offered this nuanced take. Playing amazing ball for his age, stats are tremendous, but individual impact has dropped. Can't carry team to playoffs like before. This acknowledges both LeBron's remarkable statistical output while also recognizing that his ability to single-handedly determine his team's success has diminished somewhat with age. Another Reddit user, unlikely_Apple 8619, countered with this perspective. Impact on team is #1 attribute, makes teammates better, IQ not affected negatively by age. This highlights what many consider to be one of LeBron's greatest strengths, his ability to elevate the play of those around him through his passing, court vision, and basketball intelligence. These qualities haven't diminished with age. If anything, they've become more refined. In a different thread titled, "I really think we don't truly comprehend how LeBron is playing year 21 with a projected average of July 8th, 25, user The Alphabet Zebra offered this explanation for LeBron's unprecedented longevity. Attributes to genetic lottery, ultra mentality, exercise, rehab, recovery, study, spends $1M/year, no major injuries, load management worked, compares to mid-career player at 40s, Udonis Haslem contrast. This comprehensive analysis touches on multiple factors, genetics, mentality, physical maintenance, injury avoidance, and strategic rest that have contributed to LeBron's ability to defy Father Time. While Shaq's comments suggest that rule changes and reduced physicality have enabled LeBron's longevity, these fan analyses point to a more complex reality. Yes, the game has changed, but LeBron has also invested unprecedented resources into maintaining his body, adapted his playing style to minimize wear and tear, and benefited from advances in sports science and training methodologies that simply weren't available to previous generations of players. Perhaps the most compelling statistic regarding LeBron's current level of play comes from StatMuse, which noted on X, LeBron James since turning 40, 26.2 PPG, 7.8 RPG, 8.4 APG, 54/44%. Those shooting splits, 54% from the field and 44% from three-point range, are particularly eye-popping. They suggest a player who isn't just hanging on through veteran savvy, but is actually performing at an elite level by any measure. This level of efficiency at age 40 is virtually unprecedented in NBA history. It speaks to both LeBron's natural gifts and his relentless work ethic. While the reduced physicality of today's game may indeed be a factor, it can't fully explain how a player in his 22nd professional season is shooting better than many players in their prime. One particularly interesting aspect of LeBron's performance at age 40 is his playoff production. Despite the Lakers' disappointing first-round exit, LeBron actually elevated his game in the postseason, as he has done throughout his career. As noted earlier, his playoff averages 26.3 points, 9.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2.0 steals, and 2.3 blocks represent an improvement over his regular season numbers across the board. This ability to raise his level of play when the stakes are highest contradicts the notion that he's struggling with the physical demands of the game. The narrative that LeBron is somehow benefiting from a softer NBA NBA also overlooks the ways in which today's game presents its own unique challenges. While hand checking has been eliminated and flagrant fouls are called more frequently, the pace of play is considerably faster than in previous eras, requiring players to cover more ground and make quicker decisions. The emphasis on three-point shooting means defenders must close out to the perimeter more frequently, adding to the cardiovascular demands of the game. Moreover, today's NBA features an unprecedented level of skill and athleticism. LeBron isn't just competing against physically imposing bruisers, he's facing players who combine size, speed, and shooting ability in ways that would have been considered extraordinary in previous eras. The fact that he continues to dominate against this caliber of competition is a testament to his adaptability and basketball genius. As another fan on X put it, LeBron James is 39 years old, averaging October 7, 27 on 55% FG against the defending champions, and still gets more hate than anyone else in the league. What is wrong with y'all, man? This sentiment captures the frustration many LeBron supporters feel when his accomplishments are diminished or contextualized in ways that seem designed to minimize their significance. The reality is that what LeBron is doing at age 40 is extraordinary by any standard, in any era, under any set of rules. While it's fair to acknowledge that changes in the game may have contributed to his longevity, reducing his accomplishments to a product of a softer NBA does a disservice to his remarkable dedication, adaptability, and basketball intelligence. As another Reddit user, Bahamut727 observed, notes people don't appreciate due to normalcy, no fall-offs like others, 10-15 PPG, efficient, dominant, will, retire in 2 years at 23 plus PPG. This points to an interesting psychological phenomenon. The more consistently extraordinary LeBron has been, the more we've come to take his excellence for granted. We've become so accustomed to his greatness that we sometimes fail to appreciate just how unprecedented his career trajectory has been. The numbers tell a clear story. LeBron James is not just good for his age, he remains one of the best players in the NBA, period. While the game has evolved and rules have changed over the course of his career, his ability to maintain this level of production into his 40s reflects a combination of natural gifts, relentless work ethic, basketball intelligence, and adaptive capacity that transcends any era-specific advantages or disadvantages. In the final analysis, LeBron's stats at age 40 don't just challenge Shaq's narrative about the soft, modern NBA, they challenge our fundamental understanding of athletic aging and career longevity in professional sports. The legacy stakes bigger than basketball. Beyond the immediate controversy of Shaq's comments and the statistical analysis of LeBron's performance at age 40, there's a much larger narrative at play here, one that transcends basketball and touches on questions of legacy, family, and historical impact. The stakes for LeBron James at this stage of his career extend far beyond wins and losses or individual statistics. They're about cementing a place in history that goes beyond the basketball court. One of the most compelling aspects of LeBron's current chapter is his unprecedented father-son partnership with Bronny James. In October 2024, they made history by becoming the first father-son duo to play together in an NBA game, a milestone that adds a unique dimension to LeBron's already extraordinary legacy. LeBron and Bronny James become first father-son duo to play an NBA game together. This achievement represents more than just a basketball curiosity. It's a powerful narrative about family, mentorship, and the passing of knowledge across generations. Bronny's journey to the NBA has not been without controversy. Drafted 55th overall by the Lakers in 2024, his rookie season has seen limited playing time, with averages of 2.3 points, 0.8 assists, and 0.7 rebounds in 27 games, playing just 6.7 minutes per game. These modest numbers have fueled allegations of nepotism, particularly given his 4-year, fully guaranteed contract, an unusual arrangement for a second-round pick. Bronny James talks Lakers criticism and what sparked a little something in his game, the athletic. The scrutiny surrounding Bronny has been intense, placing additional pressure on both father and son. LeBron has been protective of his son, famously confronting critics like ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, who have questioned Bronny's NBA readiness, LeBron James, and the limits of nepotism, The Atlantic. This protective stance highlights the personal stakes involved for LeBron. This isn't just about his individual legacy anymore, but about his son's career and their shared family narrative. Despite the criticism, Bronny has shown flashes of potential, including a 30-point performance in the G League against the Valley Suns. He has described playing alongside his father as a blessing and expressed a desire to continue the partnership. For Bronny James, playing with LeBron was a blessing, and he wants to run it back vertical bar Fox Sports. This father-son dynamic adds an emotional dimension to LeBron's late career decisions, potentially influencing how long he continues playing and what his priorities will be in these final seasons. Beyond the family narrative, LeBron's legacy is being shaped by his pursuit of all-time records and his place in basketball's historical hierarchy. Having already become the NBA's all-time leading scorer in 2023, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron has secured a permanent place in the record books. But the conversation about his status relative to Michael Jordan and other all-time greats continues to evolve with each passing season. Interestingly, Shaq himself has weighed in on this GOAT, greatest of all time debate in the past, offering a perspective that's evolved over time. In one clip, when asked if LeBron is close to surpassing Michael Jordan, Shaq replied emphatically,
Is LeBron close to surpassing MJ in your book?
No.
Not at all. Where do you rank him? Like top 5, top 7?
but he continued with an interesting prediction.
And well, definitely top 3. But I don't like having this conversation because I actually know all these guys. But I know LeBron, and I think this is LeBron's plan.
Shaq then elaborated on what he believes is LeBron's ultimate goal.
I think he wants to pass up Kareem. If he passes up Kareem in point, we all got to shut the hell up. He gonna have 4 rings. He already passed up Kobe. He already passed up Mike. Now he passed up Kareem.
Shaq concluded with a strong statement about what these accomplishments would mean for LeBron's place in history.
So if that don't make him the greatest basketball player is, I don't know, what we're talking about. And if I was him, I'd do the same thing.
This clip reveals that despite his recent criticism of the context of LeBron's longevity, Shaq has acknowledged that LeBron's statistical achievements and overall impact place him in rarefied air among basketball's all-time greats. After 22 seasons and at 40 years of age, LeBron James has transcended the conventional narratives of basketball greatness. He's not just competing for championships or individual accolades anymore. He's competing with history itself, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible for an NBA player. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.